At Arizona State University, we're bringing world-class education from our globally acclaimed faculty to you. Ranked #1 in innovation for 10 consecutive years and #2 among public universities for employability, ASU isn't just ahead of the curve, it's creating new paths to success. Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online, that's a degree better. Explore more than 300 undergraduate, graduate, and certificate programs at asuonline.asu.edu.
Lowe's knows how to set off your July 4th with savings. Right now, buy one, get one free on select one-coat coverage interior paint via Visa gift card rebate. Plus, get 2 select 2 or 2.5 quart red, white, and blue annuals for just $10. Hurry, these July 4th deals won't last long. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 7/9. Selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii. More terms and restrictions apply. See Lowe's.com/rebates for more details.
Stop right there. Yeah, you. If you like all things entertainment, current events, or Hollywood, then look no further. Creator to Creators, hosted by director Meosha Bean of Horror Noir, interviews filmmakers and creatives from around the world. Join in on the fun, guest celebrities, and informative information to have as a creator. Hit subscribe and stay connected to Creator to Creators.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Creators to Creators Today. Today, we have special guests.
I'm Floyd Toulet. I'm the writer of Knock Knock.
I'm Joe Staton. I'm an actor. I'm producing this play Knock Knock, and I'm also acting in this play Knock Knock.
Hello, my name is Chloe, and I'm directing the production of Knock Knock.
Hello, my name is Claudia, and I'm playing the role of woman in Knock Knock.
I love it. Thank you all for being on the show. I'm super excited to talk to everyone. I like to talk to people that are just, creatives from every part of walk of life, all, sectors of entertainment. I love what you guys are doing. And for those that are listening that, don't really know about this play and what you guys have going, tell me a little bit about individually, just something small, a little bit about your childhood that kind of brought you here to all together now. So whoever want to kick that off, go right ahead.
Well, I can possibly start off by just sort of giving the reason for Knock Knock's existence. I was brought up in South Africa. I've traveled. I've done a lot of traveling. So I was brought up in South Africa, and before we moved to Australia, an incident happened, an event that I was 10. That really it traumatized me at the time, and I always swore that I would remember what I'd seen and do something with it. And so, without going into all the details, that was the sort of the kernel that became Knock Knock. So yeah, so that's my little nugget.
I love that.
I know exactly what event you're talking about, Floyd, and yeah. It's at least a good play came out of it, at least. In terms of my childhood, I have moved around all my life. I was born in England, grew up in France and Spain, moved back to England at the age of 19 to do drama school, then moved to New York to do drama school. So I've been all over the place. And during the pandemic, I had to go back to England, and I met Floyd in a supermarket. It turned out he was my next door neighbor. In a supermarket called Tesco, and he mentioned he was a playwright, and I was like, "Oh, I'm an actor." And then he showed me the script, and he actually asked me to direct it in London, and I directed it, and then just sort of loved it a lot, and thought I actually want to try being in it this time. So we did it last year, which brought me to Chloe. Because Chloe is a fellow Brit who I met over here in New York, who said she really wants to be a director. So I was like, okay. I actually put a call out for directors the first time we did it, and Chloe was really the only one who actually bothered to research the play and to give her idea of what it would be. So I was like, okay, that probably means she's the one for it. And yeah, we did the play last year, and now we're doing it again. And we wanted to shake things up a bit, which brought us to Claudia, who is now our new actor in it. So yeah.
Awesome. Hey, I'm so excited to be in this. I'm new to this team and to this play. I just got cast last week.
Awesome.
but I was like, I heard that Chloe and Joe were putting this on, and I was like, oh, that sounds cool, whatever. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna do the audition thing, whatever. And then Joe sent me the script, and I was like, oh, this seems really cool. So yeah, props to the, because I only read an excerpt, and I was like, yep, I wanna be in this. So yeah, that's really cool. You really, I feel like it's really engaging, the little part, even if it's just a little part that I read from it, because yeah, I mean, I'm from Mexico. I am Mexican.
Nice.
I moved to the States. I lived in the States a little bit when I was a kid, and then I came back to go to drama school. And the thing I really like is when I find these like projects that make you really wanna, that are, I mean, as actors, we're always trying to understand other people to be able to play them, right? But in this play, you're also trying to get to the bottom of something, and just all the different like ways that you explore what's happening to one person, and like trying to, I don't know, trying to understand and get to that. I think that's what brought me here, I guess, and to be an actor. The same thing that I loved about the play.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Female director. Woo!
Yes, hello.
Love that. Love that.
Yeah, I mean, so as Joe mentioned, I came to the States. So I'm from England as well, and I came to the States after completing my undergraduate in London, to continue kind of like my postgrad at drama school here. And I love acting, and I'm still pursuing it. I'm graduating this summer.
Right.
And it's just, there's always been this like weird niggle in my head. Maybe I'm just a little bit bossy and I just kind of love it, but it's like, but it's definitely, I just had this lovely feeling of a need to be on the other side of the stage, and just be in that kind of collaboration portion of theater. And I have loved it. Like Joe, I give my heart and soul to Joe, because he gave me the opportunity to explore that. I mean, I'd never done it ever before.
Wow.
And
Wow.
he obviously Brits in New York, we hear each other and we're like, yeah, come be my friend. And so I knew him from in and around the circuit, and I saw that he put out the advert, and I thought, and I was very honest, I said, I have never done this before, but here are kind of my ideas. I went away, and the best thing you can do, I mean, I loved the script straight away. I'm a huge like reader, so I feel like I really engage with good, like honest stories really well. I kind of pick on them really, really nicely. And yeah, I just kind of dived into the world that Floyd had created, and I loved it. And I just went deep research into the world that he'd created and brought it to Joe, and he loved it. And I thought, and I was like, if I can be an assistant director, if I can just be part of anything, I'd love it. And then he threw it at me, and I was like, let's do it. And last year I loved it. We did it at the New York Theatre Festival, and it went really well. We had really amazing feedback. And yeah, when we got the opportunity to do it again, I was just like, absolutely. And then why not? I feel like it's amazing when you get to do the same piece again. It's really nice to just mix it up a little bit. And I think definitely with the woman, she could be played by anyone. We were considering any gender, any race, any age.
Nice.
As well.
Nice.
It's really not specific at all. So then it gives us a lot of creative outlet to kind of feel like what a different person could bring out a different part of the story. So I'm really excited we brought Claudia on board. I'm so excited. But yeah, I'm excited to get back into it. So.
I'm gonna add to that real quick. Is it okay if I add something to what she's just said? So
yeah, go for it, please.
One thing that I'm really excited about is because when we did this last year, we were working in a space that had a lot of rules. You know, there were lots of things we couldn't do. And now we're working in a space that have not got those rules. And I know for a fact that Chloe has a very weird brain. So there's going to be some weirdness in this next one that was not there before. I
love it.
That's why I love working with Chloe. Let's put it out there.
Pushing those boundaries. I mean, why not, right? That's what it's about. It just brings me joy to see people putting women and not to say guys, I love men. I just love seeing women in those positions. It just warms my heart because like the industry is, we're getting there slowly but surely. So congrats to, everything that you guys, have going on. Tell me a little bit about the process. Like what inspired you to do this? Like what was like what made you say yes? Like let's make it happen.
I mean, from my point of view, what inspired me to say yes? Well, this goes all the way back to when I first directed the show because Floyd showed me his script, and to be honest, like with new writing, I value new writing. I think new writing is very, very important. Um, Having said that, and I don't mean to sound harsh or cynical, but it's very rare that I read a piece of new writing script that actually excites me so much.
Mm.
Some of the older stuff is much more reliable because you just know it's really good. Whereas I think when you have new writing, you always take a little bit of a risk. So when Floyd said, "I've got a show, will you direct it?" the first thing I said was, let me read it first before before I come on
Very
board.
wise. Yeah.
Because I don't know. And then I read it and it blew my mind. It was such a really good piece, and it comes from a very honest place. Like Floyd says, it was incited by something that happened in his childhood, which an interpretation of that appears in the play. So it comes from a very, very real place. So directing it all those years ago was a lot of fun and very, very interesting. But I'm not primarily a director. I'm primarily an actor. I like directing, but I primarily come from an acting background. So I really wanted to sort of see what I could do with the role, which is why I decided to do it again. And this time I produced it and cast myself in it. So from that sort of angle, that's sort of what incited me to do it. And I wanted to do it one more time again because last year we had a lot of restrictions and this year we don't. So the possibilities are endless. So that's my point of view, my 2 cents.
That's it. I love that. Floyd, so this was something from your childhood. How, being, when you're making something, creating something and being vulnerable, right? Putting your heart and soul into something. Were you kind of like nervous to put it out there or to share it once you were like done with it? We were like, I don't know.
Well, first of all, by the way, I meant to say hello, Meosha, and thank you very much. I didn't even say hello. Hello.
Hi.
Hi. It's really nice to be here.
Yeah, same.
The honest answer is my wife teases me over this, but whenever I tend to write something, it's more that I have to get something out of me. This sounds incredibly pretentious, but it genuinely isn't. It's something that you sort of in the end, it's like vomiting. You've just got to get it out. For me, this is such a personal particular play. It's such a personal story. So the motivations were the incident that I vowed I'd do something to honor that and remember it. But in addition to that, I think one of the things in anything I write is about time. I've got this fixation that we all think of time as A, B, C, D to Z, and actually it isn't. Being frank about it, I had a breakdown in the late 90s, and one of the things I experienced that really did stick with me was that when you're in that sort of space in your mind, the line breaks. So what happened yesterday is just as real as today, and what you're going to do tomorrow becomes something it all gets very, very confused. And that was the sort of inspiration and the drive. When I had that plus wanting to do something, I thought, well, if I write something, if I write a story that communicates all these issues, so mental health, animal welfare, time, how we view it, what it basically means to be human. And when I was a little bit unwell, one of the things that I realized was how, and I include myself, you tend to you view people who are going through something like that in a very particular way. They're not us. They're over there. And actually they're not. We're all inclined to it. We all suffer various emotional issues. So I'm drifting now, but what I'm trying to say is it wasn't one thing that drove the theme. But from my point of view, the joy to have all these people doing what I've written is extraordinary, because what is written, it might mean something very personal to me, but it's in a drawer. And unless it's given life by people who speak the lines and actually don't just speak them, but actually live them and understand them and bring stuff to them that I never thought was there. That's an extraordinary thing. And Joe, who I can just say that I'm very, very grateful for everything that he's done. And obviously all the others. Chloe did a great job last year, and I'm sure Claudia's going to do fantastically this year. So I'm very, very, I'm very honoured and very pleased.
I love that.
I answered your question, but thank you.
No, that was perfect. Yeah, I think it's so beautiful to. I think, you know, obviously I've never done a play. I've only done features and, you know, film world, but there's just something to it, you know, when you put it and you perform it live in front of the audience and just getting that energy and feedback. What was the first? And I'm just curious, and you know, individually you can tell me how you felt about it, but like when you did do it on stage, what was the feeling? Because I'm sure that must feel amazing, right? Once it's over, and just to hear like what someone felt from the piece that you delivered, I bet that's like incredible, like a rock star feeling. Lose yourself in the world of stories, audiobooks, and podcasts.
A homeless kid in our study group.
Access to the best collection of unforgettable stories. Massive collections of stories that you'll love. More than 100,000 stories to choose from. We have something for everyone.
Tired. Very tired. Very tired. Exhausted. Emotionally exhausted. Physically exhausted. In a good way. It's kind of like, I say it's like going to the gym, because, you know, when you're sort of there, you kind of feel, you know, crap, but then like an hour later after it's done, you feel amazing, if that makes any sense. So it's that sort of release, in my opinion. Because, and Claudia, you're gonna get ready for this one, because like we're gonna be on stage for the whole time.
Oh,
like,
I saw it.
Uh-huh. You saw the play? That's right. I forgot. Yes, you saw it.
No. I mean, I saw it. In my eye, I guess.
Oh, okay.
I was reading it. I didn't see it. When you guys put it on. Why didn't I see it? Well, whatever. We can some other time. I was graduating, right? I think when you guys were.
You were. Yeah.
I was doing my other show. When I was reading it, I was like, oh, this gonna be a marathon.
Yes.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be, but I also felt like, oh, my roommates are really gonna have to be, you know, doing lines with me. Regularly.
This play is like, I think it's just come short of an hour long, and I think I have like one moment where I'm not on stage in the whole show, just one moment. You're going to be on stage the whole time.
Wow.
Very entertaining.
That was one of the hardest things is when I personally love two people plays. I think it shows it's like one of the most challenging things to do, because normally it's one set, very minimal set that is there, and you have two people to keep the same audience looking at the same picture almost engaged for 60 minutes, and
but it's really like
tough.
snappy. It's tough, and it's amazing, and it's all 100% down to the writing, which we have a fantastic script, which really helps, and the amazing British banter that is so quick that is so inherent within this play really helps. But it's creating like interesting pictures with the same tables and chairs and the same two people was one of the most challenging things from my point of view last year.
How so?
And then also working, because you haven't got masses to work with, you don't have like elaborate, also because it's festival style, so you often don't have the time, the space, the budget to kind of have these like elaborate sets, because you've got people coming in and out quite quickly.
You can't be folding clothes.
It's like, and there's no costume changes and things like that, so it's really focused on the acting, which I love. It's an actor's play, which I love. So
and you know what else, like, because what you said about two-person plays, like I have some beef with two-person plays, especially in England. especially in England, just because, I mean, my favorite two-person play is Lemons, 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 which, you know, is a great play.
Yes.
But even that play, I have a little bit of beef with, just because there's so many two-person plays in England, especially, where it's a man and a woman, they're in a relationship, that relationship goes wrong, they break up, they might get back together, they might not. And that's every single two-person play in England. And so when I read this two-person play, my first thought was, please let this not be a man and a woman who are together, who break up and then get back together. And thankfully it's not. So I was like, yes, an original two-person play.
It's all down to the script, really, that really aids us. Is we don't like the heavy lifting is done by the words that are already written, and then it's my job to then bring it out of the actors and our collaboration together to kind of create this beautiful story in a three-dimensional way. And I think I was really excited for when we did it last year, because when we were auditioning, I kind of thought I had an idea of who I wanted to play the woman. And then people came in and that went out the window, and I was like, oh my God, my plan's gone. But then that kind of made me realize it's kind of be prepared, but don't plan. Like don't prepare yourself for what you think is going to happen. Prepare yourself for anything. And I know that sounds like so much work, but it's not. It's you have to rely on your instinct and trust your gut. And that's why I love when you said about women coming. And I was like, I'm so biased, but like women's intuition, women's gut feelings. I mean, it's like it's so raw. And like you, Claudia, you'll know this, but like one of my things that I learned during when I first time I directed was that sometimes when I feel something, I can't quite put it into words. It's this feeling, and I just do this.
She does.
And I was like, Joe would literally do a scene, and Joe and I'd just be like, yeah, I don't know what to say, but it's I don't know. It's not money. It's like it's the money moment, or it's like
it's the je ne sais quoi.
It's the friction. And I think this play has so much friction, and I think as well, because it's so ambiguous, like you don't, as the audience member, what my idea of what that I'd love the audience to take away from it is that it's not set in stone how the story ends. There isn't really like a beginning and an end. It's kind of left open. And I want the audience to take away whatever they need to take away from the play. And it's not what I want them to, it's what they need. So it's almost,
it's almost, and this is the highest praise I can give you, Floyd, seriously, but it's almost Shakespearean in a sense.
Wow.
I felt this in the last round of auditions, because last year we had a really talented actress playing the woman who was just wonderful. She was an older actress and it was fantastic. But the great thing about the way Floyd has written it, and Shakespeare did the same thing, which is why I say it's almost Shakespearean, is he didn't write it in a way that it has to be a certain way. He didn't write it in a way that this character has to be this age, this character has to be this gender, this character has to be anything. So that's what's really great about it, and I'm excited. We're very excited to see how it's going to be different this time, especially with Claudia, who is, you know, I've seen the woman as an elderly British woman, I've seen the woman as an elderly American woman, I've never seen the woman as a Mexican lady, so that's going to be great. I'm excited.
That's going to be great. Yeah, love that.
Yeah,
I love that. So I have a fun question, and there's no wrong answer. But the 3 levels of influence: money, power, and respect. And if you could choose one of those things, which one would you choose and why?
Good question.
Yeah, go for it.
It's not the money, I can assure you.
I would choose influence for sure. For sure. I would, yeah. Do I tell you why?
Sure.
I feel like there's so many things that I'm not saying that I'm right about things, but I feel like there's so many things that are just so obviously terrible and I feel like if I could just convince more people to like, I'm big on like, even though some people say that recycling is a hoax. I once saw like, I was filming in Mexico and I had to go to it's called relleno sanitario, where everybody puts the trash, you know? And it was one of the most impactful things I saw in my whole life. It was just horizons and horizons of garbage.
Wow.
And it was just so, I was like, this is unsustainable for the planet. And
Wow.
since then, and I feel like I talk to people about this sometimes, but I see people just, I don't know, just thrown away. I don't know, I'm going on a tangent of environmentalism. It's just that kind of thing that I'm just like, if I could make you understand what I saw and what I understand now, you would be completely different on your views on fast fashion or something like that.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. That's great. That's
Yeah.
great.
Being kind to people, not being so mean. I don't know.
Definitely. 100%. I love that.
That's what I choose.
It's a great answer.
I think I would probably choose I'd probably choose respect.
Okay.
I think because I don't know whether it's a British school thing, but it's kind of like respect is kind of like, you know, teachers, it's like, especially in the schooling system, it's like demanded, and it wasn't always given the other way. And I
say, even though there isn't always there.
No, I always had a big qualm, and maybe that's why I got in trouble at school, because it was I do think I'm a big believer in that respect is earned, is earned, but should also be freely given in terms of like not like withheld for certain people. I think it should be freely given to everyone, but yeah, it was definitely a one-sided street in my not all my teachers. I had some absolute, you know, legends of teachers that are big reasons of where I am today, but it's definitely, so I think if everyone I think had a little bit more respect for each other, we'd have a bit of an easier time, I think, but then it doesn't pay the bills, so I don't really know. You know, living in New York City, it's hard, and it's like, yeah, if you had unlimited money, right, you could put on any play, right, you could do anything, especially in this industry, right, you could change the world that way. But it's yeah, I think respect, I think the world will be an easier place.
I like
a
that.
kinder
Great
place,
answer.
maybe.
Love that.
Yeah, I think I'm leaning more towards respect as well. Money is definitely something that is tempting, because I'm currently raising money to produce something, and it's causing me sleepless nights just looking at the budget of what I'm trying to do, because unfortunately I'm an ambitious person, and this thing that I'm trying to produce, I could go very simple, but I could also do it my way, but my way is expensive. So money is something, and I think influence is something worth, you know, it definitely has merit, but from my view, to paraphrase Spider-Man, with great influence comes great responsibility.
Love that.
And that kind of terrifies me a little bit, because I, you know, especially in the state of the world today, how we're so divided politically and everything, and how everyone sort of has their own opinion. I'm sure if all of those people who hold all these different positions could have influence, they would, but is that a good thing?
Yeah.
And am I arrogant enough to assume that my influence that I would put out there is necessarily good? I'm not sure. I don't know. I think it's good, and I like to believe it is, but everyone else does too. So, you know, it's tricky. So, you know, respect, I'll say something really personal. So my father died when I was 2.
Sorry to hear that.
Thank you. I was brought up with the knowledge, at least everyone told me, that he was a very respected man, and that he would walk into a room and he would have a presence about him, and a lot of people respected him. And I guess, you know, subconsciously that's something that maybe I've internalized a little bit as a goal to strive for. Again, it doesn't pay the bills, but you know, it could, maybe it could, you never know. I'm sure some people who make a lot of money are very well respected. I don't know. This is very philosophical. I go on tangents with this because I'm like, there's no right answer. There's no right answer.
Exactly. It's whatever you feel is true for you, I think. And I'm very curious of what Floyd has to say.
Yeah, me too.
I went last because I'm a coward. I wanted to think it through. it's certainly not money. I spent 20 years working as an advertising copywriter, and I do say to myself, quite a reasonably successful advertising copywriter. Loved it to start with, but towards the end of my career in advertising, I started to get a little bit tired of influencing markets with things that I didn't actually have any belief or faith in. So when I stopped, I thought, and my wife is a star. Honestly, you'd have to trust me on this, because I threw all that away and dived into just, I'm going to write plays for nothing. You know, it's hard work. So my answer would be influence, because I take Joe's point. You're quite right. Yeah, everyone thinks they should influence, and maybe that it's an arrogant thing to do. But I spend my working career influencing people to buy Coca-Cola or bloody car. I would like now to influence people, not in a brain mind control way, but to make people think or question or challenge or look beyond the Overton window and just sort of look and say, maybe everything that we see isn't perhaps as it is. Not to follow what I think, but to follow what people are able to work out for themselves. But I think we live in a world where we're told increasingly what to think. So I'd like to contribute to the wall that says, start thinking for yourself.
He wants us all to he wants us all to be vegan. He wants everyone to be vegan.
That's number one.
That's right. I love it. I love it. Oh, it was so great talking to you all. Okay, so for those listeners that, you want people to go to watch it, okay, in one word, each individually, why should we watch this? I know it's tough.
I think for me, it's what I was trying to say earlier in a very dysfunctional sentence. It's humanity. I would hope that people might go there and come away with perhaps a little bit more humanity. That's it.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Oh, I would probably say, I'm going to add some punctuation to mine to make it smell.
Go for it. Yeah.
But the word and our understanding of reality, ? And like how it can differ. Every single person's reality is so different. And again, to assume makes an arse out of you and me. So it's, and it's I think that's something that we do a lot. So yeah, I feel like reality ? Is a big one for me.
Love that.
I'm going to choose awareness, purely because this play is about a man with dissociative identity disorder, which for a long time was thought to be schizophrenia. It's not schizophrenia; it's something completely different. And I think there's been a big stigma around DID from what I've seen through research and stuff, in which people think that either it's not a real disease, or it's or people are putting it on, or or we should, I don't know, treat these people like they're dangerous, when really what they need is compassion and they need love, and that's and they deserve that too. So just I think people should see this play in order to just be aware that this is something that is very real. And it's something that deserves empathy. So, yeah.
Love that.
All of the things they said, I think, are completely true. So, apart from all that, I am going to say that you should come see it because it's going to be fun. It's going to be 1 hour of entertainment. And I've been in theaters when I'm like, oh my God, just God, make it stop. Why did they make this 3 hours long? And it's like, I feel like this is going to be the opposite of that. They're going to be like, oh, what? It's over now? So much fun.
I love it. Oh, I love it. Where can people find you guys on social media? And I'll make sure to have the information in the description box so people can go and get tickets and all that good stuff. So where are you guys on social media so they can find you guys and follow everything you guys get?
So if you want to follow the theatre festival we're doing it's the Rogue Theatre Festival, so at Rogue Theatre Festival. So you can find all the information about the show on their social media as well. My social media is at Staton the Facts, because my last name is Staton, not Staton, and I was hoping that people would catch on to that, but they didn't. I also have my own theatre company at Riff Raff NYC, which I'd love to plug in there too. So
yes, awesome. Anyone else?
Well, my Instagram is Claudia ACB. I thought we were going around saying our Instagrams.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's my Instagram. Also go to the show.
Yeah. And mine is we'll have all of the ticket info on all of our individual Instagrams anyway, but mine is at chloe.champken.
Love it.
And for myself, it's my theatre company, which is called Touted Folly. So it's at Touted Folly or www.toutedfolly.com. And one last thing I just want to throw in for Meosha is in this entire conversation, apart from what Joe did very well there, he navigated it very well. We've not really described what the show is, and there's a reason for that, and that's because there are so many spoilers. If we were to start to discuss what the storyline is, it would betray the purpose of the story. So people just have to trust and go in.
Just go in. I love that. That's that makes it more exciting, I think.
Yeah. There's a big twist at the end.
Feel like you've got a rock and you've thrown it on the edge of a cliff, and it'll just pull you down.
I love that. That's awesome. Well,
and Floyd is writing a new play too. He's writing a new play, and I want to read it as soon as he's done. Yeah.
All right. Congratulations. That's awesome. That's awesome.
You and me, look out for it.
All right. And everyone who are listening, please go support, follow each and everyone, and just support. Thank you so much for coming on the show. It was lovely talking to you all.
Thank you very much.
Definitely. Thank you. And thank you all for listening, and always remember to live, love, laugh. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.